If you've hired a realtor to sell your house, or if you're thinking about hiring a realtor to sell your house, you need to pay careful attention to this. I just watched an agent throw away probably $100,000 for her sellers by doing something that I see all the time, and there are three important takeaways from what she did. I'm going to share all 3 points of these with you to help you fix your realtor. The third of these ideas is probably the most important one if you haven't hired an agent yet, so definitely stick around for that. I'm Michael Howsam, an active real estate broker in Southern California. I'm also the founder of House Advantage Academy, where I help realtors improve results for their clients. So there was this listing that popped up in my neighborhood in Irvine, and I have a setting on the MLS that sends me any new marketing activity for my neighborhood. So there were 2 things that I noticed immediately. Number one, at $2.4 million, it's the most expensive listing that's ever hit in the neighborhood. My head kind of exploded. And then number 2, it was an absolutely hideous feature photo. So I go into the MLS, I opened up the Pics, and these were the first 9 pics that came up. Frankly, I couldn't believe it. When was I going to get to something that was actually compelling, or was I literally going to fall asleep first? So here's point number 1. Do not allow your realtor to use their iPhone to take pictures, and also don't let them put stupid photographs in the spread. Now, beyond these first 8 photos, there were a handful of other dumb ones as I scrolled through. Take a look at this. Ridiculous. So all of these photos here scream wholesale product. And this is a $2.4 million house. It's a complete mismatch. You have a high-end retail product, but the presentation doesn't fit at all. The images are terrible, and the layout and the order of the images, they don't make any sense either. So this is the important thing to remember as a seller. All buyers are going to be interested in the main living area, the kitchen, the outside space, and the master bedroom. 99% of the time, one of those 4 are the most important areas to the house to them. So not only with these pictures was the quality low, none of these 4 things show up in the first 8 pics. Total snoozeville and missing the point of posting pictures in the first place. Honestly, this should be a criminal offense to post pictures like these. And frankly, it doesn't actually matter if your home isn't high-end or high-priced like this one. This works for any price point across the marketplace. A good agent should properly position the house regardless of the price point in the marketplace. Now, number 2, the pictures posted should always tell a story and be focused either on the best features of the home or one of those 4 main areas that I mentioned. And obviously, you've got to have a pro who knows residential photography. In fact, if you have a keen eye, you can see in the pictures that I showed you some of the things that I always notice. Number 1, anytime you see a window on the outside, you'll see that the outside is overexposed so the inside looks good. Classic amateur move. Or when you're looking at any kind of canned lights or even lights in a house, you'll see little bits of lightning like flashing off of it from overexposure. That is another amateur move, and a pro will edit all those things out. The photos of a home should look like an Architectural Digest spread, not like a goof from a 12-year-old with a 15-year-old flip phone. Now, another thing, when you scroll through the MLS and the Zillow, have you ever noticed that it's always the front of the homes that you see? It's either the front door or the garage. It's garage after garage after garage. Why would you do that? Unless the front of a house is absolutely spectacular, and it almost never is, the front view should never be one of the first views of the home. The first picture that comes up should tell a story. And that way, it's going to stand out as totally different from the sea of photos that your buyers, your potential buyers, are scrolling through on their phones. Figure out whatever the best feature is of the home, and that's the first picture you put up. So take a look at this. This is a feature pic of a recent condo sale of mine. Now, this condo was less than half the price of the one that I started out showing you. But which of these 2 pictures is more appealing? Which of these two pictures is more likely to create an emotional response that gets the buyer interested in looking further? Now, these are the second two pictures from that same condo. And then remember, these are the second and third pictures from the first house I showed you. Which of these two are more likely to stop the scroll through the Zillow app for a buyer? Take a look at this. Here's a feature photo and then the next two pictures of another listing that I just sold a few weeks ago. Now this house was over $1 million less than the one that we've been talking about. It's basically a classic Costa Mesa neighborhood home. But which of these two homes seems more appealing by the pictures? Can you see the difference between the two? The point of pictures is to whet the buyer's appetite sufficiently to get them to want to come tour the home. You want them walking through the house. Nobody buys a house based on pictures. It's definitely not to give them perspectives of every room in the house from every possible angle. It's also not to give them a frame-by-frame tour of the house either. I've seen 1,500 square foot, 3-bedroom homes that have 32 pictures of the inside. It's absolutely nuts. Look, if the hallway or the laundry room or the garage aren't spectacular or noteworthy, don't include them. Another thing that comes to mind thinking about this, in my neighborhood, there's an absolutely gorgeous clubhouse. It's got an outdoor area, multiple sitting areas, a couple of fireplaces, a big pool. The place is like a full-on resort. Now, there's not that many homes in this neighborhood, and the place is always empty, and it is spectacular. But the agent didn't include one picture of any of that. It makes no sense to me at all. Maybe your neighborhood has a park nearby or something else that's an immediate benefit of living there. You have to show those pictures in your spread. Now, this takes me to the third takeaway from this concept that comes to mind. You need to do your homework before ever interviewing an agent. Look them up. Look at their previous listings. See the work they've done for previous clients. Are their photo spreads professionally shot, carefully curated, highlighting the best portions of the home? Are they doing the things that I'm talking about here? You should understand exactly how an agent has performed in the past before ever taking the time to talk to them. So a couple years ago, this is an analogy, a couple years ago I had a surgery, and you can bet that I wanted to know that the doctor had a history of fixing shoulders before I ever let him cut into my shoulder. You want to do the exact same thing. In today's marketplace, 99.99% of all buyers are going to see your house online before doing anything else. If the agent you're considering isn't following the advice I'm giving you, please don't waste your time. 100% that will cost you money. So this right here, this is a document I use in my listing strategy session. It's called Solutions, and it's basically the 10-item recipe that I use to show a seller how I'm going to net them more money than any other agent in this county, right? Number 3, right here. Number 3 item is about photography. In many circumstances, I'm going to have a printout of my listings and another agent in the area and show the seller the difference. Oftentimes, they're not even aware that there is a difference, and they're just thinking, well, aren't we just taking pictures of the house? In fact, you may be even thinking the exact same thing. Hey, aren't they just pictures of the house? No. Which way would you prefer to have your house exposed to the marketplace? Now, that's an obvious answer for a seller to give me. And when you're sitting in front of an agent interviewing them, you want them to do the exact same thing. So the way I like to position the difference is one of them is marketing and the other is advertising. Marketing is like BMW, the ultimate driving machine. They get a lot more money for selling the ultimate driving machine. There's a story in that marketing piece. The other way is just advertising. That's like the used car guy that's saying, hey, by the way, there's a car for sale. You want to position your house as best you can in the concept of marketing. not just advertising. Marketing trumps advertising when it comes to dollars. And these are your dollars. You should know this before ever talking to an agent so you can understand how to get the absolute greatest amount of money possible for your house. And don't be shy about it. Look, I found these online. I want this kind of photographer. I want my house to look like this, not like this. It's okay. You're the boss. They work for you too. Now, there are two other options for you to take a look at: more education to help you become a better home seller. Click on one of these two links below.